This is random aviation trivia, something like take 5, because I keep tripping over my words. Probably because it's 5:30 in the morning. Talk about control surfaces and what makes a plane do what it does. As previously discussed, the lift on an aircraft comes from the top, back here, as the air goes over the wing and tries to work its way down, pulling the aircraft up. How the pilot controls the direction of the aircraft are these two controls. That is an aileron, and that is a flap. And they kind of do the same thing, but they do them in completely different ways. The flap, whatever this flap is doing on this side of the aircraft, it's doing on the other side. Whatever the aileron is doing on this side of the aircraft, it's doing the complete opposite on the other side. The flap is adjustable anywhere from 5 to, I want to say, in some cases up to 35 degrees. This affects your lift. It also affects your drag. For takeoff and landing, these get deployed sometimes in little increments. Sometimes people drop them abruptly. I've had somebody do that to me on a landing once, and I bounced off my seatbelt. It's like slamming on the brakes. And what happens is as this starts to go down, and you can't just throw it in a full down position in cruise flight because it'll cause problems. It increases the lift. It also increases the drag, and you're able to slow down because you want to take off with as little speed as you can and land with as little speed as possible to get up in the air as fast as you can, get down, and without tearing up your tires. So the flaps come down in unison, in stereo, for takeoff and landing. The aileron actually controls the surfaces of the airflow, which causes the aircraft to turn. So if you're flying along and you turn your controls to the left, this one on this side comes up, which interrupts the airflow over the wing, which causes the lift to decrease. On the other side of the airframe, it'll go down, acting like, not unlike a flap, causing more lift. And so what happens is you turn left, that goes up, the other side goes down, the aircraft turns this way, and you hold it, and then when you're where you want to go, you center your control center. Basic, simple concept. Unlike in the movies, where everybody's grabbing the controls and yanking and banking on them like they're running an ice cream machine, the controls, the input to the controls to get a result is minimal. And how I explain that to people is, imagine if you're driving a car through a parking lot and you want to turn down a row. You grab the steering wheel and you pull on it. Well, now, make yourself going 150 miles an hour down a highway and you want to change lanes. What do? Almost nothing. Well, that's what an aircraft's doing, probably way more than 150 miles an hour. So the slightest little input, the slightest little control input will affect your pitch, not your pitch, your roll of the airframe. Pitch is nose up, nose down. Roll is left and right. And that's how you control the aircraft, the direction you want to travel, and then you trim it up or put it in autopilot or whatever and fly in a straight line. But when you're at a little airport, watch for airplanes coming in. They'll have a landing light on. And if you look closely, the flaps on both sides will be down to a certain extent in most cases. Certain little Piper Cub type aircraft, they usually don't mess with it, but a regular airplane, you'll see the flaps down, and usually after they land and slow down, they'll retract these, put them back up to neutral. I'm not sure why this guy has these down a little bit. But that's your random aviation trivia for this Friday.